Whoa, that's a very good question. Actually, when I was little, I don't even aware of gender. I always thought that because I knew my sexuality first, then it's the gender. So I noticed that I attract to girl, just naturally attracted to girl. Then I found why around to me they're all boys, boy and girls. You know, it's heterosexual. But I am a girl. I mean, physically it's girl. Then I found, wait, what am I? Like, what was that? What is that? And then I start realizing, okay, this is a woman, this is female. But now I'm still searching for my self-identity. I mean, pronoun, all kinds of things. Yeah, yeah.
It's an interesting question, and it's kind of hard to respond because I can't think of like a moment. I guess it's when, you know, like I'm a single child, so there's nobody at home to compare. But I think I've always been aware that, you know, boys are boys, girls are girls. And I think from kindergarten, you know, people, like, when you do like play like different games, and then they will divide girls to a group and boys to a group. I remember really clearly that, you know, I was always like the nurse or the cook, and they were always like the construction workers. And even when we're doing like a little play, it's like a folktale story, but the role I was playing was supposed to be like a guy, and actually it's a more, I think it was like a stigmatized role because it was kind of derogatory in nature, the character. And the teacher had a very hard time explaining to me that even though I'm a girl, I can still do that part, and, you know, it's just a play. So I think that would be my first encountering, you know, oh, I'm a girl, so I do girly stuff, and boys do boys stuff. It's very, you know, like one or the other. Yeah. Do you know anything?
I don't know.
Okay.
What?
I think for books, I always have this book. That's why my name is Echo. It's not my real, actually legal name. I'm from China. I grew up in China. I came here when I was 15, and it's been like 4 years. And there is one author. Her name is Echo. She also chose that name. She's born Chinese, so, you know, we don't really have English or ish names. She's an incredible writer and traveler. She, in the 70s, she traveled herself to Sahara Desert in Northern Africa, and it was not something that women do, especially not something Asian women do in that time. So she wrote a book about her 10 years and living in the desert, and, you know, all the funny anecdotes and all her, you know, like, her writing is just so touching that it really, I could say that it changed my life. It made me realize that, you know, girls can be adventurous, and that's something it's not like breaking. It was my first impression. It's not something that, oh, girls was not supposed to be adventurous, and then I discovered, oh, girls can be. Girls has always been adventurous. That's just an impression that I got from the book. In terms of music, I actually like Lana Del Rey a lot. I think she's somebody who's, you know, has her attitude, but she has always been criticized for not being a feminist, for, you know, her songs, and, you know, even the, you know, the videos that she makes is always somehow like kind of more like the subjects are more like kind of praising patriarchy or praising the heterosexual relationships. But I always like her song, and I really like her song Love, because I think for that song it really fits into our generation. Kind of like, it doesn't matter if you, what was that song? Like, kind of like, if you not know, it's okay. And for the future and the things to come, it's gonna be all right, because you're in love and you're loved by the world, by people around you. So that's like one of the most influential songs. In terms of culture, I think I can only come up with the activity is cooking. I cook in our house. I always cook, and that's something that's really passed down from my culture, because In my house, you know, we always cook. If I go to a friend's place, or if my family goes to a friend's place, we always bring some food. Like even it's store-bought, but we always bring either homemade or store-bought food. Just we offer this as like something that's really important to us and to other people also. So I think cooking, language, and the stories of Sahara, as the book's title, are the three things that's, you know, most relate to me.
Okay. Start with the music first, because I'm a music student, so I listen to a very diversity, different genre a lot. So actually I cannot say which one can identify me, because actually I studied for classical music for like almost 20 years when I was very little. So my mom pushed me to sit on the bench, piano bench, to practice, and then I start to like Debussy because the French and the Impressionism, and the color of imagination and everything. Then from this year, I can say it's a transition that I am a little bit tired of classical music. I want to try jazz. So it's very different. One is very structured, another is very freestyle and improvisation as a manly thing. So I don't know, like maybe I can say any artist can identify me. Well, it's really hard. I want to, yeah,
really
yeah.
That you said that. I feel like it kind of relates to, you know, that challenge of
Yeah.
describing what your gender is.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
what your pronoun is.
Yeah. Because I found actually in piano, I mean in classical music, there's not many female. There is a lot of female pianists rising up, but I mean male is still, especially for conductor, is still a very it's men story. And then for jazz, yes, it is. And then if we talk about female, you will relate to singer, not like a pianist or guitarist or bass or drummer. You won't. You will think about, oh, white, oh, black, or man. You will not think about, oh, it is jazz pianist is a female, because actually it was like half years ago I saw after jazz there's a female pianist. She will do solo improvisation. Like this is really hard. First is the improvisation. Second, it's, you know, female solo on the stage. I cannot say it's rare because the word is very big, so I cannot say it's rare. It should be like something that we didn't see very often. So that's a very interesting thing. That is someone that I want to become, but I know it's very far, but I will try my best. Yeah, and for the movie, I don't know. I can only think about the movie is about lesbian movie. Lesbian movie.
Name your favorite lesbian movie.
I remember actually my first lesbian movie. The first one lesbian movie that I saw is, you know, in Thailand there's a lesbian movie called Yes or No. Yeah, I was very crushed on the girl who had the short hair. Oh my god, I feel like she is so cute. Yeah, I'm sorry. yeah. Then I found, actually that was the first time I found, you know, in China, in Asian country, there always a role. I feel like in gay world, they always have the role play. Like short hair is in a dominant, and then long hair it's more how to say, feminine. But actually, it's no. Like always people talk when people see me, they will say, it's you date Echo. No, actually we were like just. I did not like reach her at first. We just like very naturally, and then even for the past relationship, it's not because I have short hair, so I reach you first. I ask you for a date. No, I think in gay world we shouldn't have that kind of a form to identify. Okay, you're tall or you're masculine, so you should like ask for a date first. Like who said that, right? And then that was the first, because of the movie, I found I crushed on, not crush. I'm really interested about this man procrastinate. No, wait, 怎么说主人公?
The protagonist.
Yeah, protagonist. She has been short hair, which I found it's so cute. And I found actually I can attract it to someone who no matter you're long hair or short hair, then that is the transition for me to realize, okay, hair does, like the length of your hair does not mean anything. Yes, yeah, that's the film that quite influenced me. And for the food culture, culture, right? Not food, right?
Okay. Does not have to be food.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think food in Chinese culture is a very, very important thing. And also gathering and then have Chinese New Year. We family they getting together to having food and then celebrating the New Year and then waiting for the next year to coming. I think food is also a very good. It can identify me, but I don't cook very well. Sometimes, so I'm in charge of eat, not cook. So she cook, I'm eating. Yes, that's my part. Yeah, I really, when I was at home, my mom, hey, Kay, come to eat. Me and my dad is, food. No, like a dog. Sorry. Yes, yeah, that's it.
Echo, can you confirm?
Yeah, I could confirm. Like
yeah, I eat
seriously,
a lot.
Yeah. A lot, but I think I could say my first, and if you can contribute your piece. I think in China or Eastern Asian culture is always very stereotypical. So it's very heterosexual. There's patriarchy. So if you are a woman, you cook, you take care of the family, you have all the childbearing responsibilities, and then the man is the breadwinner. And actually, both our families is like this structure, except my mother's responsibility was given to my grandparents because they were some family reasons. So for me, like even in books, if you look at the textbook, I saw research a few years ago that if you look at textbook and how they describe women and what kind of real women or female characters are given in the textbooks are always they're always the same as what would people expect, even though we have like a female Nobel Prize winner in science in China, but still, when you talk about science, you think about guys, boys, you think about older, middle-aged men. You won't think about necessarily a lady who's, led a research team and accomplished such incredible results. So I think definitely, culture has, kind of defined what, gender would be. But for me, I got, really interested in feminism when I was 14, when I was preparing for a Model United Nations meeting, and then that's when I found out, you know what? There's actually other ideas around gender, and gender can be something that's fluid. Gender can, women are kind of being oppressed in the society because of patriarchy, and there's a reason why. And then I start to see actually the inequalities, because for me, I grew up in a very privileged home. And I was the single child, so there was really never anybody to compare, and I was not, the forgotten daughter. So yeah, but culture definitely. I still remember when I was young, when I was really little. My father, he's from the suburbs, and women and men actually eat in different tables. And as a child, I was very happy because all of the men, they always smoke, and I hate people. I hate the smell, and it made me cough. But only when I grew up, I realized, okay, they're actually, differentiating, and it's always women who are busy at the kitchen, and men, they just, play cards, smoke, and, discuss whatever. But women are always the workers of the family, and they take so much responsibility that I feel it's really unjust. But culture definitely had a huge influence, but I think we're rebels at some level. and I think our generation is slowly changing the culture also.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Same for you?
Yeah, for me, because I have an elder sister, and because I'm quite resilient, and not resilient as let's say revolution, like no,
Rebel.
a rebel. Yes. So my mom and my dad is quite similar to Echo's mom and dad, but my mom is in charge of all the household. But because my mom always tell me, you know what, in the when you date someone, you never you should like open your eye, don't find someone who give all the thing to you, or like a disappearing father, you know. And then, but unfortunately, I attracted to girls, so woohoo. So I will not.
Yeah.
So I will not find a guy. I'm for sure. And then then the good thing is my mom, my dad, they won't like, oh, you need to date a guy, or you need to do something. They won't say, okay, we plan your life. No, it's your life is on your own. So I think this is very lucky for me. So I have the chance to exploring the gender by myself, not by my influence by my family. But of course, it's a lot of influence by the society. Until I come to Canada, I have a very different way of thinking the gender, and even think of myself. I don't think I'm a girl. And also I'm not a boy. I feel like I'm no one. I feel I'm myself. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. What does it mean? Like look back my past.
Yeah.
And
what would you do differently? Like in subjects of gender, culture, and generation.
Okay, you go first.
Yeah, what I would do differently, I would, to be honest, I might not go into social work. Why I chose a CEGEP program, I think if I were a guy, I think people would pick up some of my qualities and think, maybe you could be an entrepreneur. Maybe you can go into business, and then maybe you can have your own business. And I think, and for me, in my mind, even though I later on discovered in CEGEP that I'm actually somebody who would really shine in a business program. Not saying that I don't love social work. I absolutely love social work. But I think if I were offered or even suggested in that kind of opportunity, maybe I would have like a different pathway. Maybe it's not the pathway I would wish, but still it's an opportunity. I think I was not given that opportunity or even that thought because I were a girl. And girls, they go into more female-dominated industries like social work, like nursing, like psychology. If you really look if you really look at the gender ratio in these programs, you would find, like business is quite balanced sometimes. In higher institutions now, it's all female dominated actually. There's more female students than male student. But, I think that would be something different. Another thing different, I think, it's a good question. Gender, culture. Yeah,
culture. 就是说，如果说我 sorry about the， 就是说，如果说我回到过去，我改变3个，一个是真，
就是在这3个话题上，这3个话题就是关于性别，然后关于文化，关于就是各种各样 generation 不同的代的人，就是你在这些方面可能做过各种各样的选择，对吧？但是你做的选择有什么样的变化？就是说，就你会做一个什么样不同的选择？比如说
正常的变化，
对
啊，比如说我变成男的，
对，就不是比如说你变成男的，就是说如果能再给你一次机会，然后你可以改变你的一个选择的话，比如说你会还跟你妈出柜吗？比如说你还会就是在学校里怎么样吗？你还会不敢怎么样吗？这样
Gotcha. Very good assistant. Okay, kidding. So if in the back, I think I will be more tough. Yeah, because for those people who I having 3 secondary in Shanghai. I remember I don't have a lot of discrimination by my schoolmates, but I am the one who always very shy. Actually, I don't talk much at school, and I'm very how to say, like I'm very follow the class rules, because I remember the teacher will say, see those guys who are very naughty, but see our girls, we're very quiet. But actually, I am not very quiet. I am very active, have a lot of different ideas, and then quite naughty in some way. And then if it's in the past, I will tell those girls who are not very nice to me to say screw you or something that's just, I don't want to be friends with you, I don't care, like kind of things. And then when people, because I when I was little, I remember I talked to people who I know about my sexuality. I say that I like girls, and there's a girl who so rude. Another day she talked to me. She said, do you know, if you are gay, you will have AIDS, and then HIV. Yeah, in Chinese we call AIDS, you know. And I was like, what's AIDS? And I, okay. But you know what I was little. I don't know what does it mean. I felt okay. And then when I come back, I search it. I felt, doesn't matter. I mean, even from like few years ago, I started to realize, okay, actually, heterosexual, they will also get what's that called? HIV. It's not something that only a homosexual will get. And then I feel it's very, very rude when I still remember. And then, if I was little, I definitely will tell those girls, sorry, I won't.
Bad words, yeah.
Bad words. Yeah. Because I was always in short hair when I was in, I'm actually really afraid to go to washroom, because I have a short hair. They will say, you're a boy. They will scream out, you're a boy, how come you're in a ladies room? And then we're like, I'm a girl. Then I have long time that I only want to go to washroom. I mean, can't go to washroom. It's for example, it's a lunchtime or during the class, because no one in the washroom, so I won't be judged. But actually, now I think back, you guys are so ignorant. You guys are so innocent. Like, I am a girl. Like, the hair doesn't mean anything. Like, I can say you're a guy, right? If, for example, you are a guy, but you have a long hair, you're working in men's washroom, and say, you're a girl. But actually, for guy, they will have less trouble, because guy, they tall, and they might have like some the mustache, to identify. But for me, even in Canada, I was very surprised. In I went to some shop, or even in shopping mall, they were like, they were walking, saw me, and then see the sign, and then I'm a girl. Okay. Then going. You know, it's very, very hilarious. And like, I always wonder, I was very, very frustrated in this summer, or something that happened on me. I'm like, hey, come on, I thought Canada will be much open-minded, because it's very different from what I experienced in China. Especially, I'm born in Shanghai, so Shanghai is a very international city, but it still happened, you know. It still happened. I was so shocked, and then it's quite traumatized me. You can't go to washroom when I was little, and then I actually just learned how to swim this summer, because I have very traumatized experience when I was little. Someone asked me to leave because they think that I am a boy. And they want me to prove that you are a girl. You know, it's very shame on you. But if I back to before, I was like, 老娘就是 sorry, I mean, it's hard,
more,
very more tough
yeah.
and more 坚持怎么说
You will insist.
You insist
you'll be
more,
firm,
yeah. Insist
affirmative,
of myself. I am a girl. Like I don't care
As
what
who you
you
are,
as who I am. So, yeah, yeah, no problem. I think she will have a very good answer because we have discussed about that.
Future. How would I educate my?
Your future generation about.
Is the question that what actions am I taking to address this problem to future generations, or if I ever have kids, what will I tell them?
It's more about that. More like after reflecting on these types of things, how are you going to move forward?
Okay.
Whether it's your own children or somebody else.
Okay. I have always been trying to. Well, it's a funny anecdote, but I was the first in all of my female friends to ever use tampon, because it's not something that you would use in China, because it's invasive and apparently, people have very traditional thoughts on it, and for me, I just it's much more convenient. And
tampon.
yeah, I'm gonna try.
Yes.
So that's,
Right,
I think that's something that, I was a strong advocate. Like, you can try, it doesn't hurt. If you have any question, ask me. I think that's the way, because I just want, it's ridiculous, but there's something in China, it's like a small purse, and you carry it around when you have period, because, then
you're
guys,
ashamed of yourself.
Guys
should I
don't-
go?
don't
Should I not
see,
go?
And then you hide it,
Yeah.
and somehow, like, I remember it was like a drug business when we were doing in classroom that, let's give you, give me
me
your
that little
pads and
things.
stuff like that.
I'm
It's
gonna
just-
washroom.
Now it's so funny to think about it, because, why we should be ashamed for something that's everybody have, and, people know it.
Just you are
Guys-
bleeding from your nose.
yeah, like,
exactly the
people
same.
should know about it, and I think this is something that I have always been trying, I will always do. And I think just to prove to other people that, girls can do anything boys do, or whatever people of different gender identities can do whatever other people with different gender identities do also. Because, like, I came here by myself when I was 15, and it was something that surprised a lot of people. Not people in my family, but not only people in my family, but also, like, my mom's co-workers and stuff, and they would always bring up gender, like, as if I were a guy, then it's like an adventurous journey for me. If I were a girl, I would just step into a pool of self-sabotage and all kinds of
Trouble.
danger and trouble. And I travel a lot. I travel to Mexico by myself or with my friends. I travel to Russia. I travel everywhere. Like, but I always be prepared. I always I have the safety in my mind, but when people hear those stories, they're like, wow, you're so courageous, but I will not ever let my daughter do it because she's not brave enough. And I would say, you know what, I think your daughter is brave enough, and whether it's your daughter or sister or whatever, or yourself, they are brave enough. They are just not given this opportunity, and you should give them opportunities, because it does not really matter gender. Yes, female travelers, single travelers would have more chances of being exposed to danger, but that's preventable. And whenever, whether what's your gender identity, you should travel with with having done research and have some sense of safety and know how to seek help when you are in a dangerous situation. So yeah, definitely just tell people and use myself as a model to say that, you know what, gender stereotypes, they're actually not real, and you could think about yourself differently, as long as you gave yourself the opportunity first.
On the themes of
Okay.
gender and
Yeah. First, I will encourage a girl to cut short their hair, and then for boy to have long hair. That doesn't matter, right? I will encourage my kids, or in the future, if I teach music, I will encourage them to be who you are. Like, don't think about how other people look at you. Like, how come you have long hair? School you. Yeah, just tell them, school you. Yeah, and then also tell them to protect themselves, not only girls but also boys, because now we are in the media. We also say girl has more chance to be in danger, but also actually boy too. So we need to educate themselves to know how to protect yourself. But because actually my mom did a great job. Is when I was little, my mom said only you yourself can touch some private parts, not even your mom. So that is actually very, very good education. I learned it from my mom, because of some news in China, it is ridiculous. Then I would appreciate that my mom told me this. Yeah. And then what else for future generation? Just let them to be open-minded. Now people are sometimes, I thought they are open-minded, but actually they're not. Yeah, I'm so disappointed. No, kidding. Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah. The jokes is always behind. The truth is always behind the jokes.
What I learned today. I learned that we are very brave and encourages and like courageous, and also we're very not knowledgeable, but you know we are people with our own opinion, and we should take more time to express them, because I think we are not women in general is not educated to, or are not promoted to voice their opinion and to be the one who say different things and do differently. And for me, I think personally I kind of suffer from the imposter syndrome, that I always felt like all my success there by chances, or it's just my luck and I'm just getting lucky, and it's something that I'm always trying to improve. And I think with this conversation really gave me a chance to reflect, what, actually I have like a lot of ideas that I could share with the world, and maybe through different medias, but yeah, something I learned today.
Okay, my best translation. No, sorry.
Echo translate.
Echo translate.
Always here for you.
Always. Echo translation #1 in the world. No, okay. Kidding. Sorry, I'm not good. Okay, so I think this is a very good chance to express ourselves. Because my culture is always like, don't tell your opinion, don't tell your different opinion, especially. It's useless. They will say, your opinion is useless, yeah, be quiet or something, like no one will care. But actually what I learned from today, but not only today, generally speaking, I feel our opinion, our voice, it's very matter. It's mattered, yes. And then no matter what you post on internet or something that you want to move forward about your opinion, it's all worth to try, yes. We need like everyone to say something that can move forward the world to be better, the like human part, yes.